Hello teacher friends! In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a choice board using Google Slides. A choice board is really like a learning menu. It's a form of differentiated learning that gives students a menu or choice of learning activities. These can be created in a variety of styles and mediums, and they can certainly be used with any age group. If you're familiar with project-based learning, you know it's a teaching method in which students learn by actively engaging in real-world and personally meaningful projects. So when I think of PBL, I think cross-curricular or multidisciplinary, basically catering to all types of learning styles and interests. Think of a choice board like packing your luggage to take kids on a learning trip. The suitcase is the choice slide and the topic in which your students will be learning about. You present them with the suitcase and it's up to them to unpack it and use it however they'd like. It brings students to be more independent learners and self-guided, especially because it involves asynchronous tasks. Here's an example of a choice board that I made on Google Slides, and this is for a studio course. So taking a look at this, I might send this to students or assign this on my Google Classroom. Students can access this slide, and this is really for asynchronous work. This is going to be assigned to them for that specific week, and I make sure to put the date on this. And when a student clicks on any one of these sections here, and I divvied it up by just different paint sections on a paint palette, when they click on it, it will take that student to a different website, and it could be a YouTube site, could be a TED Talk, could be an activity that they have to do, or it can sync up with something else that is connected to their Google Classroom through Drive. And you're going to want to make sure that you make this choice slide look visually appealing to students. Visual appeal is everything when it comes to engaging your learners. So I might change this up next week. Or I might even take requests from students from something that they might want to see. The imagery in the background of the slide might relate to whatever the topic is for that week. It just depends on my learners and the content that we're working on. Make sure you have clear instructions on here, but what I'm going to do in this tutorial is I'm going to show you how to set this up and how to make it easier for you to just continue editing this and duplicating it in the future so that you don't have to remake it from scratch. Start by creating a blank presentation in Google Slides. Go to View and then Master. This is where any editing that you do on the slide cannot be changed by anyone that you share it with. So I'm going to start by hitting Insert, and then I'm going to throw in any background image that I would like, and that includes any text that I want on here or any images that are related to the topic that we're studying. If you're not sure how to find these images, I usually go to Google, I find an image that I'm looking for, and I will I'll right click it and save image as, and usually to my desktop so that it's easy to find. And then when you go to insert image, it's usually pretty easy to locate it on your computer that way. I recommend if you plan on inserting an image that does not have any kind of surrounding area around it, like a white background or something like that, then when you're searching for the image on Google, make sure you hit Tools and then Transparent under Color. I like to also type in PNG. That usually helps me find a transparent background image. Definitely label your choice board. You're going to want to make sure that the title is the largest font on here, and make sure you also add your name, especially if there's multiple sections or periods for this. Label the slide as such. I'm going to put some information to prompt my students on what it is that they need to do on this slide and what each of the buttons do, because maybe they don't know where to locate the buttons. So the more clear you can be with your instructions on this choice slide, the better. You also don't want to cover this entire thing in text because that's not visually appealing. If anything, it can be overwhelming to people. So you want to keep this as simple as you can. I tend to go for more flashy and colorful backgrounds, but you know your learners better than anyone, so maybe they might do better with something more simple and clean. I'm also going to add here at the bottom a hyperlink for students to click on in order to submit the work that they do so that I can enter it as a grade directly in a Google Classroom, which I will get to in just a minute. But I want to show you how to add a hyperlink or a button to your choice slide. So anywhere where I've chosen to add a button, which for me is each of these paint sections here, I'm going to go Insert, Shape, and then I'm going to draw a shape over any area that I want it to become a button. And then I'm just going to edit the shape at the top so it's transparent, there's no border, and there's no fill color. And then when you click on that shape, I'm just going to click on the little chain link here at the top. That is how I can enter a hyperlink. So anytime that a student clicks on this button, it will redirect them. Usually it opens a new window or a new tab on their computer, but it will redirect them to that website that I sync it with. It's very important too that you label all of your buttons so that students know what is on their learning menu. Something that I recommend here, just to make your life a little bit easier when it comes to planning, you might want to label these something vague in general, because then you can just go in and you can duplicate this slide and use it again for the next week and just change up what the links are. So maybe every week I'm going to have a TED Talk and I'm going to have an activity and a sketchbook assignment. So I don't have to go and relabel this, I just have to change the links that the buttons are synced up to. When you're ready to make your choice board available to your students, go ahead and open up your Google Classroom. At the top where it says Classwork, click that and then Create Assignment. I highly recommend, just to keep yourself organized, to keep your students organized as well, I recommend labeling everything with the date and just keep all of your labels consistent. Go in and add all of your instructions in the description section, and then when you're ready, click the Add button. When you click Add at the bottom with the paperclip, you have the choice of selecting a file straight from your Google Drive. So go there and find your choice board. It's probably going to be in the Recents section. And then upload that. Next to the file, once it uploads, you're going to see a little drop-down menu. And for your choice board, I recommend you keep it so that students can view the file. There's no need for them to edit the choice board itself. But before you assign this, go ahead and click the Add button again. This time, find any digital worksheet that you created to go along with the choice board. Perhaps this is where students can enter their reflections or any answers to an activity that they had to do from the choice board. You can, instead of a digital worksheet, you can add a hyperdoc, which is very similar to a worksheet. For that worksheet, however, in the drop-down menu there, you're going to want to select the option to make a copy for each student. So anytime a student goes in and starts editing that worksheet, no one else can see it except for that student. And that's what the student is going to be submitting to you as a grade, which will appear in Google Classroom. If you need to watch a tutorial on making a digital worksheet, just check out the link that's in the description section of this video below.